Hi everyone, Big Friendly Wargamer here. It is the 31st of May, Friday 31st of May. I'm going to be sitting and doing a ramble again for about an hour. But first I'm going to show you what I've got on my desk and what I'll be working on today. Right, so here's my desk. A little bit less cluttered than normal. I had a bit of a tidy up yesterday after finishing some projects and stuff. So we've got my two Death Guard Rhinos which are finished and I'm not going to be touching. We've got the Tyrannid Prime, which is, I got him out so that I could just judge where I need to put colours on this guy. Now this is an original Hive Tyrant from 40k. As you can see, he's not that big compared to the Tyrannid Prime. He's my recovery, my eBay recovery item. He's finished now. I think, and he will go onto my list of completed models tomorrow once he goes up for the competition. But yeah, quite easy model to paint. He's got some highlights on his base colours, more or less. We've got my Necron Triarch Stalker, which this thing is proving to be a bit of a nightmare to paint. Now, it's nearly at the stage where you can have edge highlights on the cream colour, which I'm going to be dreading because the edge highlights are going to take forever. But there we go. We've got my 3 Death Guard, the 2 Death Shroud Terminators, and the oh, I'm forgetting all my names today. The Plague Surgeon. May do a little bit of work on them, may not. We've got some more Blackstone Fortress stuff. We've got the Chaos Lord, the Zealot Pyrus, I think that's his name. We've got the Elder Ranger, and we've got the 2 Rogue Psychers. We've got my Blood Bowl Ogre, which I built at the weekend. And then on the actual paint station, we've got 4 40k Beastmen for Blackstone Fortress, which I started these last night, but I couldn't finish them because I was too tired. We got the robot for Blackstone Fortress. We got the priest, and we got Ren and Rouse, which are the rattlings from Blackstone Fortress. Basically, there's mostly Blackstone Fortress stuff on my desk because what I have left is all I need to get the actual set finished. And it would be nice to actually get a box set of models finished. I don't think that'll take too long. The Beastmen are part way done already. The robot is going to be quite easy. Ren and Rouse are going to be painted the same colours as the Cadian Guard that I did. And then all I'm left with is the Black Legion Lord, which is quite simple. I'm quite used to painting Black Legion. And then this guy, the Zealot, the Elder Ranger, and the 2 Rogue Psychers, and the whole set's done then. But I think I'm mostly going to be working on this guy today because I really want to get him finished because he's bugging me. So I'm going to set the camera up and we're going to get started on painting. Right, so here we go. So like I said, today I'm mostly going to be working on this Triarch Stalker. And like I said, this is a model that's been bugging me for a while. I've got the cream colour mostly done now. Except for, I think I've got to do a couple of legs. What did I do the legs? No, I've got to do these legs, 2 legs on that side, and the pilot. And then I've got an edge highlighter with white scar. Now, there's a lot of edge highlighting on this model. It's all square, boxy model. And it's going to drive me mad edge highlighting this thing. But I want to get it done. Because I don't want it to be unpainted anymore. It's bugging me. So I'm going to get started and finish this cream off and then get to edge highlighting. Now for the second layer of cream, well, when I say second layer, it's all my Necrons. There's Xandri Dust, and then now this was, I started painting this quite a while ago, so as you can see it's got a shade on it as well. Now I stopped doing that shade layer purely because it became kind of pointless. But this has a layer of shade. It then has Ushabti Bone and 2 layers of Screaming Skull. And then edge highlight with Skull White. But I may get to the point where I'll finish the Screaming Skull and not actually edge highlight. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see as we go. Right, so yeah, I've done almost everything. I need to do these 2 legs, that one and that one. I need to do a second layer of Screaming Skull on. So, gonna get started on that. So yeah, so it is Friday. It's been a quite easy week. I was off work Sunday, Monday. Booked this holiday, so I was at the club. Got to use my Death Guard for the first time. We played a bit of Kill Team. Played 1 game of Kill Team. That's fine. So yeah, my Death Guard Kill Team didn't do too badly, which is good. But yeah, I can. I've been getting into. I'm trying to get into Necron as well. Now I've made up a gang from my Dilac box set, which I bought quite a few months ago now. I haven't actually built them yet. That's what I'm going to start doing probably while between work shifts this week. And then I can get to painting them. There's a few of us that are looking at the Necromunda now, so it should be pretty cool. So I'm going to be Dilac. My gang name is going to be Steel Fury, as in steel as in theft. Because that was always my gang name when I was Dilac before in Necromunda. Now I know the game's changed a little bit now. Well, it's changed quite a bit. The gangs are more unique. They're not just all generic humans with different skill trees. Now, like, some of them are tougher than others and stuff like that. So yeah, so Necromunda's progressed a bit, which is great. And basically, my gang is going to consist of a couple of snipers and then a group of close combat guys. Because I was looking through the weapons they can take and stuff, and the one that stood out to me is the Electro Stave. Now, it's only strength 3, but you can make close combat attacks from 2 inches away, so you don't actually have to be engaged, so the other guy can't hit you back, and you could basically whack him with your combat stave, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, so I've got a couple of gangers. I've got my leader and a ganger with that, I think, or 2 gangers. Let's have a look. Got a few web pistols. I was holding off buying a heavy flamer purely because it's so expensive. If I took a heavy flamer, I'd have to drop at least 1 other ganger, so I haven't. Possibly 2 gangers. As much as the heavy flamer is pretty awesome in Necromunda, you've got to get really close to use it, so it's not always worth it getting that close to the enemy. Now, having said that, I am building a close combat gang, but it will be close combat on my terms. Whereas with the heavy flamer, you kind of got to leave yourself quite exposed out in the open. And that's not what Dilac are about. Dilac are about sneaking around and stuff, so But yeah, the week's been quite quiet. I haven't done much painting, haven't done much of anything, to be honest. I built some terrain pieces. I built the Khorne Throne of Skulls for AOS. Built the Rise of Ruins from Conquest. And yeah, they'll probably go in my terrain tub before I start painting them. So I've got a tub of terrain now, so but yeah, all of the big talk in wargaming at the moment, painting wise and all that, is the contrast paints from Games Workshop that are coming out, and I think they look really cool. Anything that's going to encourage people to paint their miniatures is cool, and it may encourage more people to get into the hobby if they don't see it as a stumbling block if they think they can't paint. Anything that brings up new people into the hobby is good by me. It's fine by me. So yeah, the contrast paints look cool. I'll be using them on my Imperial Fists, I think, because my Imperial Fists are... Painting yellow has always been quite a nightmare to do. Very long-winded. So yeah, I can see me getting my Imperial Fist painted at a reasonable rate. Probably won't be this year. Purely because I've stated that once I've hit my 200 for the year, my painting will slow down quite a bit. Because I'm determined to get that Reaver Titan built. Now that Reaver Titan, I've started building bits and pieces of it. Started building the legs, and then it just stopped because it was taking way too much away from my painting time. Now with my shift pattern as it is, I'm thinking, well, if I paint when I've done my 200 models, which I'm 50 something away from now. I think I'm on 144 for the year now, or 145. I'm not sure. Once I can start putting time into it, I think what I'll do is I'll do an hour a day on that, and then if I've still got time, I'll do some painting. So I may do it kind of like I've done with my my Death Guard videos, where you'll get updates each day on how much I've done on the Reaver, which I was doing originally, and like I said, it stopped. So but yeah, I want to be able to field a Reaver Titan in either 30k or 40k. More 30k than 40k, because I prefer 30k to 40k at the moment. 40k Titans in 40k are kind of not really great. So whereas in Titans in 30k are good, Titans in 40k aren't particularly good. So yeah. But they've got this new Apocalypse set coming up, which is due out end of next month apparently. Which we'll see what that does. I mean, I'm not expecting much, to be honest. Because they're talking about making it so you can play a game of Apocalypse in a couple of hours. That's not Apocalypse for me. Apocalypse is a big, huge game where you've got multiple players per side, and it does take a long time because you're playing big armies. Now, like I said, I won't judge until I've actually tried it myself. So, but there we go. We'll see. We will hold off judging until we've seen for ourselves. Let's not try and smack myself in the face with the Stalker's legs. Now, I really wish I hadn't have glued this model together when I did. Getting to this pilot is kind of awkward. But I am getting to him, so it's not so bad. And this is the last of the Screaming Skull that I need to put on this. And then I can consider starting the edge highlights. Now, yesterday I decided to download Game of Thrones Season 8. Now, I know people have been saying about the ending is really bad. I've watched 5 episodes, so I've got the last one to watch, which I might watch it later. So far, wow, the season's been fantastic. I mean, people are saying it's a letdown or whatever. So far, I think it's awesome. Without giving any spoilers away, because I know some people have still not watched it and whatever, but yeah, I think it's been pretty damn good. All these people that are complaining about how it ends and stuff like that, and for people to put a petition up saying that they want the writers to redo it, how rude. Some people are just fucking rude. So there you go. That's my opinion on it anyway, and that's without me having watched the end of the season. But there you go. Typical of the human race at the moment. If you don't like something, moan and moan and moan about it. And there you go. And so I'm nearly there with this guy. It's just got his left arm to do, and then his head. Now, I know when I said about the edge highlighting, I've painted large Necron vehicles before, the 2 Doomsday Arcs, but it wasn't as difficult to get to the edge highlighting to do that, and a lot of it I did with dry brushing rather than edge highlighting. I can't do that with this guy, purely because of the angles, some of the legs, and getting into the details. But yeah, that's that guy. All the cream is now done. Just got to edge highlight him. But I think what I'm going to do, I've lost track of what time I started this. So let's say I started this at 2 o'clock. So I've been going 20 minutes. Now, I've tried something out yesterday. Let's see if it should be fully dry now. Now this is my new base, how I'm going to base my human Blood Bowl team. Now it's brown textured paint with some flock grass on it. Now there's some raised edges which I'm not too fussed about. What I want to do is get my drill, not that one, get that one, and I just want to see how this works, because the Blood Bowl bases have little holes in them for magnets for the balls, and I just wanted to see, yeah, that would work quite well. So the texture paint itself is holding the flock on, and I could put, as you can see the little hole there, I could put a magnet in there to magnetise the ball. So a little bit of an experiment right in front of you. So basically what I did with this, I'll tell you what, let's clean the palette off first. I can tell you what I've done while cleaning the palette. It's textured paint, which I used Surlon mud, yeah, or whichever one it is. Surlon mud is the brown texture paint, and then as soon as I finished applying it, I dipped it in flock, which the flock I've got is a big bag of it here. No, that's not weed or anything, it's flock. So yeah, and basically the texture paint acts like glue. It doesn't come off. It's quite, I mean, little bits of it come off, but that's the same with flock all the time. And yeah, all of my human Blood Bowl bases are going to be done like this. I may paint some white lines on them as well, but we'll see. It was a nice little experiment. I wanted to see if it worked, and it did. It worked quite nicely. So now I'm shaking up my Bugman's Glow, because I'm going to start doing the skin on these Beastmen. Now I've done 2 of them. I think I've done 2 of them. They'll need another coat, I think. But I've got the other 2 to do first. Now I don't want this very thick, because they're already base coated in Warmfang Brown. Now, when I paint, I do follow guides quite often. For stuff like my Necrons, I don't. For my Death Guard, I haven't been. But for stuff like these, I have been. And they said to undercoat the model Warmfang Brown. Now, I don't have that. So, all I did was undercoat black and painted Warmfang Brown all over. So as you can see, this guy, you can see on the legs I've started to do the skin, but I've got to do the other 2 guys with their skin first, and then I can go back and do the second layer on the other 2, or do the second layer on all 4, to be honest. But yeah. Like I said in the intro, it'd be nice to actually get a full set of a box set finished. And I really want to play Blackstone Fortress. It's kind of gotten forgot about quite quickly. But the set itself looks so good that I really want to play it. Now I've said to I don't know if I've said to the other guys, I've said to some of the guys at the club that I've just got to accept that my gaming time's going to be limited now. So I'm only going to be there once every 3 weeks. It's because of work. Not a lot I can do about it, to be honest, but it's going to impact me running the Blood Bowl League. Well, it will and it won't. It will impact me playing in the league. It won't impact me running it. So what I'll probably do is still run the league, but might not be in it myself. And this is because I want to play Necromunda as well. It's just typical when all of a sudden your time's short and all of these options come up. But yeah, I've had a good run of being there every week that I've wanted to be there. Yeah, I know I had earlier in the year I had things come up which stopped me. But generally speaking, I've been there most weeks. So yeah. But yeah, of this week I've had It's weird. You go through stages where you look back at how things have been going the last couple of weeks and or last few months and stuff like that, and like I've it's not been a great year. I've got to hold my hands up and say that. We've had lots of things going on as family, with my nan passing away and both my parents being ill, my dad with his shoulder and my mum with various things, and but on the other side, I've kind of landed myself a good job. Whether it continues after September or not, I don't know, but we'll see. So there's been good points and bad points. I mean, I tried not to be so negative about everything that's happened this year. It's kind of hard when you look back and you see the things that have happened. And don't get me wrong, I know people that have had worse years than me, but the thing is, you can't relate to everyone else. You only know what affects you. And it's difficult to put yourself in other people's shoes sometimes, you know. So you concentrate on what's affected you, the good things and bad things, and like there's been times this week where I haven't wanted to do anything. I was feeling kind of low, kind of down in the dumps and stuff. And I've literally just spent hours playing Candy Crush while listening to music. Now, for some people that's their normal day, playing Candy Crush and listening to music, but for me it's not. I feel like I needed a break from life this week. I don't know, maybe it's me just being down in the dumps and stuff, but I feel like I needed a week where I just needed to take a deep breath, you know? And it's not always a bad thing. Like, you don't always have to live your life 100 miles an hour. Sometimes it's okay to just take your foot off the pedal a little bit. But yeah, I've still been trying to get some painting done, and like I said, I painted the old Hive Tyrant. He's done. He's ready for the painting competition tomorrow. Need to take some decent photos of him though, so I can post up. Now it turns out quite a lot of the people at the club didn't know anything about the painting competition, and that I know of. There may only be 3 of us that are competing for it, but it's fine. I know other people have bought things for the competition, but they got hung up with other projects. Like I said, sometimes you just get caught up in life, so that's fine. I do quite like these 40k Beastmen models. Totally going off subject, but there you go. Be interesting to see whether they actually bring 40k Beastmen back. I mean, They always used to be a thing, so you never know. I mean, they're slowly bringing squats and stuff back, as they've got a couple of squats in Necron now. Apparently there's going to be a squat in Blackstone Fortress with a new set that's coming up soon. I still haven't even built the arm ball set yet. That's just me taking a swig of my drink. So what I'm going to do is just water this paint down a little bit more and do the second layer of flesh on these Beastmen. Yeah, I've still got to build the Dreader Amble set, which my sister got me for my birthday. It's just sitting in its box. I haven't got round to it. What I'll probably do is, once I've finished this set off, so I've finished all these models that I've got on my desk, I'll then build him and paint him. Now, there's 3 models in the box, one of which is the actual Amble itself, which is a reasonably large model. It's not huge, but it's bigger than most of the Blackstone Fortress models. And his 2 hatchlings, which I think they shouldn't take me too long to paint if I focus on them. And then you've got the next set that's coming out is the Rebel Guard Command, which is the Ogryn and the Rebel Commissar, which look like great models, and I will definitely be getting them. Just hopefully they don't come out too soon, so that I'm kind of stuck with doing these. But yeah, I wasn't too sure what to actually get out and paint. I've been thinking about doing a little card game. So I get in a deck of cards, which strangely enough, Games Workshop actually released a deck of cards, a proper normal set deck of cards, just randomly, and gave it away with their the 40k 8th edition release. So it was a freebie. I've got that. So I was going to assign 5 models or something bigger in single to each card. So what I was going to do was aces were going to be like a Lord of War model. 2 to 10 were going to be generic troops, like 5 to a card, and then ace, king, queen were going to be like tanks and dreadnoughts and characters and stuff like that. I was going to go with each suit was going to be a different army, and I was just going to draw to what to paint next and stuff. Just I could still do that, but I don't know. It's sometimes like I didn't want to paint the Blood Angels that I had on my desk. I got some 30k Blood Angels out, which I've just not been in the mood to paint them. If I'm going to be painting a 30k army, I really want to get my World Eaters finished. And the 3 Primaris guys that I had on my desk as well, they all just went back in their cases. Even though the captain himself is actually quite close to being finished, I wasn't in the mood to finish him. So they all went back in their cases, and I wasn't in the mood for painting them. So yeah. So painting these Beastmen is a nice, again, it's a different model than I've painted before. It's a nice change. And then obviously the Elder Ranger will be something different as well, because the only Elder that I've ever painted apart from my Harlequins were Ulthway. They're black and yellow. Now he's definitely not Ulthway, he's Beltan, so he's going to be mostly white and green. So again, painting something really quite different. And Ren and Rouse as well, they're going to be Cadian, painted in Cadian colours. Now the Renegade Guard that I painted earlier were in Cadian colours. So basically I wanted to make it so it looked like there was a bit of a rivalry going on. So that Ren and Rouse are there to kill all the traitor guard and that kind of thing. So yeah, so that's how I'm going to paint them. Should be quite straightforward. I know they've got a lot more equipment on them than the Rebel Guard, but that won't be a problem either, I wouldn't think. Now, painting the Thaddeus the priest, he's going to be in like creamy white robes. So we'll see. I mean, at the moment, the only one there, Thaddeus, is set up to be painted. So are Ren and Rouse. The Beltan Ranger isn't there to be painted just yet, but he won't be too far away. We'll see when we get to him. And I will get to him. I don't think these Beastmen will take me too long. Basically, after I've finished all this first layer of skin tone, I get an all over shade of Agrax, I think. Yep, Agrax Earthshade. So it shades the brown and shades the skin as well. And then I just bring the skin colours up. And then work on the fur and stuff. Or do I dry brush the fur first, I think. We'll see. Dry brushing's always quite a messy thing. But I find it quite relaxing, dry brushing, and quite rewarding, because a lot of the time it looks pretty cool. So yeah. It has been. Yesterday I was trying to get painting done and I just wasn't getting it. It was kind of stuffy yesterday. It's kind of stuffy again today. Well, I got my drink with me, which is nearly finished. But you know, it's always keep your drink with you. So we'll have 15 minutes left, I think. I'm just waiting for these Beastmen to dry and then I can all over shade them. So what I might do is I'll put these guys back and I can shade them after, when I've started to upload the video. And crack on to the dreaded edge highlight on this guy. Now for this I've got white scar. Now I don't normally like using white scar, but for edge highlighting it works. So So what I'm going to start edge highlighting the four limbs of the Stalker and just work my way back. This is how I've worked on this model from the beginning. Now once this cream is done, it's quite relatively easy, like all of my Necrons. The cream armour, it takes forever to do. It literally is like a never-ending stage, the cream armour. But once it's done, the whole model finishes really quickly. Like all of these black bits, the tops of the legs, and all of this round here, basically where he's sitting on his throne, it's going to be Hawk turquoise, as well as his shoulder pads and this bit on top, all going to be Hawk turquoise. And then his like back bit and the spine are going to be black. The control panel is going to be black, and this little symbol at the front is going to be bronze. And then it's just a case of painting the weapon, and it's done. It's like that quick, but it's this bone colour. It's just it takes forever. I've actually lost track of where I put his gun, so I'm going to have to find that at some point. The gun goes under there. Again, this will probably be painted bronze as well, or black, I don't know yet. So it's edge highlight. The thing is, I love the way this looks once it's done. So it's why I've stuck with it. But looking at the new contrast paints, it might really help me minimise how long it takes to paint this armour. But I'd have to see, because if it doesn't give me the same look, then it's not going to work. So see, with Space Marines and stuff, you could get away with switching to contrast paints like mid-army, and you know it's fine. But with something like Necrons, where they're all supposed to be, I know Space Marines are supposed to be uniform, but between squads you could get away with it, them looking slightly different. Necrons really shouldn't. They should all look the same. And mine do. Mine all look very, very similar. The only difference being is some of them in the recesses have this shade wash, and some don't. But that's not a big thing. That's not too much of a problem. I don't know how much of this I'll get done in the last 15 minutes. I wouldn't imagine I'll get very much done. I may get the two forelimbs finished and that'll be about it, but we'll see. Edge highlighting isn't something you can do quickly if you want it to look done well. And quite frankly, this model is quite awkward to hold. So again, turning it round. For edge highlighting, you generally use the side of the brush. You don't want a lot of paint on the brush either. But you don't want it to be like a dry brush. So you want enough so that the paint's going to actually apply. just got the end of it. But this edge highlight is so awkward, this model. The edge highlight itself, it really kind of hides the blotchiness of the cream. Now I'm not going to bother doing the actual bottom of it itself, the bottom of the foot. I'm not going to bother doing that. So it's just where you've got to try and brace and be careful with edge highlighting. It's not something that's very exciting to watch. So that's that forelimb done. Now I'll work my way back up to up its arm sort of thing. And like I said, once this white colour is completed, the model will finish so quickly. It's the same with all my Necrons. It's just getting this cream armour out of the way, and then like the model's finished like within a couple of hours of painting. The cream armour itself takes more time than all the other colours put together. Now I had someone years ago when I was painting my Blood Angels saying about why do I take so long painting the models, because they're only tactical marines or they're only space marines or whatever like that. And I go, because they're not just space marines, they're my space marines. I paint how I want to paint, and everyone should. I mean, don't rush. If you don't want to, don't rush. If you want to rush and get your armies on the table, then go for it. There's nothing stopping you. I was tempted to actually paint these the ball limbs blue, because that's my other colour on my Necrons, is bone colour. Bone like this, then hawk turquoise, then blue. Gives them a very cold look, but it's a look I like. What I need to do is actually put that moving down. Rinse the brush and start again. See, some of this, even though I'm edge highlighting, it needs the tip of the brush, so. And when you're edge highlighting, you need the paint to flow really well. Sometimes, especially when it's getting a bit humid, the paint can kind of, how can I describe it? It gets kind of gunky, so it doesn't flow as well. So yeah, with the Apocalypse rule set coming out, I'm considering getting myself the newer Necron Big Walker thing. But every time I get these ideas in my head, the Reaver Titan kind of smacks me around the face, so. So I want to get my 200 models finished for the year, and then really start working on that Reaver. And the way I look at it, I reckon the rate I'm painting, come the end of July, so I've got 2 months, June, July, I'll have my 200 models finished, because this month alone I've painted 30 models. In fact, if I carried on painting, I could probably be on course to paint a model a day. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, that would be great, but then that Reaver would smack me in the face again. We'll see. If I want to paint, I'll paint. If I don't want to paint, I will build the Reaver Titan. So I know some of the stuff that I've painted this year were like the skeletons, and the Death Guard are ticking along quite nicely as well. I worked out the Conquest stuff itself. The Death Guard will only run till the end of December, because in the following 2 months you get the Space Marine Repulsor, which is across 4 issues, and then you get the last 2 are terrain. So the Death Guard are finished by December, really. I think the last thing in the set for Death Guard is Typhus, but I could be wrong. See, I'm just not sure how many Death Guard models you get in Dark Imperium, sorry, which is what you've got coming in the next month or two, the Death Guard models. So I know there's another 20 Poxwalkers on the way. And I've got 12 as it is, so I would like 2 units of 14. But we'll see. It's actually getting quite hot today now. They said over the weekend it was going to reach 30 degrees. We'll see. So that's more or less the limb. I'll do the little mounting that it's got, which I've only got a couple of minutes left of the video, so in a way I'm glad that I left the limbs so that I can move them. Now the Triarch Stalker itself doesn't come with a base, so it's easy enough to do that, to make it so the limbs move and that. I'm considering getting a base for it anyway. I mean, I don't have to, but I think it should have a base. It'd be a big base, but there are big enough bases around now, so I think I can do that quite easily. And just a little bit on top now. I probably haven't been on camera for most of this, but with edge highlighting, you kind of have to be close. Right, so it's one limb down. One limb. I've got 5 limbs, a body, a pilot, and mandible claws to do. But I'm going to end that video here today. Thank you very much if you've sat and listened to me ramble, or you've just painted along with what I've been painting. I hope to do the same next week, because next Friday is my first day off. But we'll see. So it may be done on Saturday or something instead. Yeah, these videos are quite random as to when they're coming out at the moment, I know that. But my shift pattern kind of dictates what I'm doing day to day now. And to be honest, some days I just want to sleep. So thankfully today is I've had 5 days off and I'm really wide awake. So yeah, so there you go. We've got a Triarch Stalker, started to get edge highlighted, and we've got some Beastmen that need shading now. So thank you very much. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel. I do these every week if I can. But thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.